Good afternoon, Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson with our first warning of the day for parts of a couple of counties down in southeastern Kentucky. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for parts of Laurel County, Whitley County, over into Knox counties, and over into Clay counties. Also a little bit of a slice there of Bell County. That goes until 12:45. So we're going to stay with this one for a little bit because this is the first of the warnings we've started to see. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible and hail size up to an inch. So again, we're watching this one very closely. It's the first storm. All these storms today, we talked about earlier how they've been rotating. We're seeing some broad rotation here, just south of, or actually just east there of, actually west of I-75. There you go. And then again, a little bit east there too. It's kind of broad out there, but it's actually tightening up as it crosses Interstate 75. That's between Corbin and Williamsburg. So if you know anybody traveling that way, they're going to be getting into some very intense winds. Now, we talked about earlier that our friends over at the Weather Service said we could even see hurricane force gusts with some of these storms. So far, nothing like that showing up there. But again, tornado watch out for a lot of folks until 6 o'clock tonight. But again, we're watching this area right here. It's literally getting ready to cross 75 right now. It's in southern, let's see, I guess it's in parts of Whitley County right there, just north of Williamsburg and south of Corbin. 25W, Cumberland Falls Highway, also kind of right there in that area too. But again, not looking well defined yet, but it is tightening up just a little bit. So we're going to continue to watch that, see how it plays out for us here for the next few minutes. Track it out for you. I'll move this way. Actually, I'll stay over here so we can kind of see those. Barberville, 1234, Girdler at 1238, both those in Knox County. Of course, we've got DeWitt and Scalf, also in Knox County there, 1243, 1246. Asher's Fort, 1254 and 1256 for Gardner. So again, this is going basically back over into parts of Knox County, going over into potentially Clay County there, southern Clay County, just a little bit there. That's where the warning is for. Also, parts of Bell County could be included in that timeline there as well. So we're just going to continue to kind of keep an eye on this one for you. Again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for some of these counties going out until about 12:45 this afternoon. But again, those are the areas that we're expecting to see that here a little bit. Lots of lightning, very electrical storm as it crosses I-75. So if you know anybody traveling I-75 or US 25W, 25E going back toward Barberville, it's broadened out just a little bit there. Cameron, hasn't it, with the rotation?
Yeah, watching that part of the storm just to the really in between 75 and Highway 26, right just to the southeast of Walden. And that's going to continue pushing off to the east into eastern Whitley, also into much of Knox County as well. So that's the part of the storm that we're watching out for the potential for a quick spin up right here.
Right, and this is the county line right here. So once it crosses over, that'll be from Whitley into Knox County. So you've got places like, is that Highway 6 there?
Yes.
Cameron, Highway 6 kind of in the path of this as it progresses over into Knox County. There's Dishman Springs, there's Emmanuel, there's Perman down to the south there. So we're going to continue to watch this. But right here, as Cameron had circled, right kind of east of Walden is your area of tightened rotation. That's why they put the tornado possible tag on this storm there, coming out of Whitley County into parts of Knox County. That will continue to be the case as we head deeper into the forecast. But again, all these cells today, those that pop up so far, this is our first warning, but the Weather Service office and what we've seen on the parameters there, of course, with the tornado watch going up, all these storms are going to be rotating. Okay, so some more than others. They decided to issue a warning on this one. Again, coming out of Whitley County, basically just to the east of 75, right along 26 there, right along 25W is on the other side of 75. So it's probably clear to you guys at this point, but this is moving from Whitley into Knox County.
Yeah, so the Weather Service is saying this storm is showing signs of increased rotation, but just not strong enough yet for a tornado warning. So that's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning, but still, go ahead and take it seriously as it pushes off to the east into eastern Whitley, also much of Knox County as well, giving you that first alert in Barberville for the potential for some heavy rain, gusty winds, and lots of lightning as well. So if you're outside, go ahead and go indoors near Barberville, also up towards Emmanuel and Gray as well in Knox County.
Exactly, right? Something we're going to watch here right quick, just a little bit of a notch. It's not really consistent with the rotation. Let's go back to reflect. See that little notch there? Even if you're not seeing the rotation, that means there's some pretty steady out winds in that. Very electrical storm crossing from Whitley into Knox County right now. There's the Faber community kind of on the tail end back toward I-75. So again, let's put a track on this, Cameron, when you get just a sec. Let's see if we can put Barberville in that just to kind of get us an idea of what we're going to see that over that way here in the next little bit. So I'd say in the next few minutes, the bulk of this storm will be coming toward Barberville, and it's moving off. How fast is that moving?
55.
55 miles per hour.
1235 for Barberville.
Yeah, basically right around 1235 for Barberville there. So again, like Cameron said, if you're outside or if you know anybody that's outside, you know, maybe watching the storm, don't do that. Just go inside. There's a possibility of some damaging winds with this storm. And as the Weather Service just said, it is tightening up a little bit, but it's not quite tight enough for a tornado warning. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it for parts of several counties. I'd say Whitley will be let go of that here pretty soon once it crosses the line. But for parts of Knox, the majority of Knox County, southern parts of Clay, parts of Bell, and then back over into a couple of other counties there to the east. I think Clay's in there as well. So again, most of this Knox County right now, Barberville at 1235. So we're going to continue to watch this and see how it plays out. But again, let's go back to velocity real fast just to kind of see where we're at. A little bit of tightening there, Cameron.
Yeah, it looks like on the Knox and Whitley County line. I'm trying to get, let's switch over to Jackson. We're having a hard time looking at it from Morristown, so give me 1 second.
It's one of those areas that's kind of out of both radar ranges just a little bit. It's a little bit better into Jackson's than it is.
Jackson's
there
right
we go. So there you can see the tightening rotation there. Just kind of west of Highway 6, like Cameron said, it is crossing the Knox County or Whitley County line into Knox County. So Dishman Springs heads up, Emmanuel heads up. This is kind of pushing off to the east-northeast a little bit.
Yeah, east at 55. One thing to mention, we have that low-level jet that's really is going to be pushing these storms pretty quickly today. So not a lot of heads up potentially for these storms moving very quickly.
Exactly. So you heard Cameron there. You're not going to have a whole lot of heads up for these. Again, these are moving fast. Remember the time frame we were talking about, 12 to 4 basically. So these storms are going to be racing across the area. So if you're in Barberville, if you're in Dishman Springs, if you're in Emmanuel, just go ahead and get in your safe spot. Treat this like a tornado warning, even though it's not actually a tornado warning just yet. But that rotation, that couple looking a little bit on the tighter side right there as we headed to Knox County.
Yeah, for sure. So like we've been talking about Barberville, this is your heads up to just go ahead and go indoors, because if there's no tornado, there is plenty of lightning. Let's try and see if I can do a query on how many lightning strikes we have in this area. Let's see.
Electrical storm, that's for sure.
160 strikes. So we're talking about a very electrical storm, as Brandon mentioned. So we're looking at a hefty thunderstorm pushing into Knox County at this hour.
Exactly. About 25 minutes to, or 20 minutes to go on this morning. Goes until 12:45 this afternoon. Again, I think Whitley County will be dropped from that here pretty soon. It's kind of coming out of Whitley County. We also have another warning down to the south there, if we can put a query on that one, going through parts of Claiborne and Campbell counties. Actually, I think it's coming into Campbell County right now. Lots of lightning in that one, too. More than 300 strikes. Wow. That's crazy. But again, that's going through parts of La Follette, so you're probably getting lit up there in La Follette. Some kind of over into Scott County, just a little bit of a rotation there coming over into Campbell County. So we'll keep an eye on that one, too. But our main focus back up in Kentucky, we're watching that one. Put a query on that. Let me see all the counties that are included in that. I know parts of Clay County is, parts of Whitley County. I believe that'll come off here. Knox County, Laurel County. Laurel County was one I missed. But again, 60-mile-an-hour possible winds, inch-size hail. So again, we're talking about some decent hail there, possibilities. So again, if you can get the cars in the garage or if you can get your cars under shelter, might be a good idea. Get in the house. Don't be outside. Treat this like a tornado warning, even though it's not a tornado warning. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. But you never know, especially with that rotation tightening up there near the county line, when it could drop a brief tornado, spin up, spin down, and then, you know, still cause a little bit of damage out there. But again, this goes until 12:45 for all the counties you see on your screen.
Yeah, and this is really the first warning, the first storm really of the day that's been severe, and we're expecting more of those. We do get an update from the Storm Prediction Center in about 3 minutes. So we'll get an update at 12:30 on the severe weather outlook. I wouldn't suspect much changes here at 12:30, but still.
Let's take a look at that real fast, just to kind of give folks a kind of a recap of what we have been seeing today already. And again, the level 4 risk, and maybe we'll get to see this update on the air. Level 4 risk, that's 4 out of 5, moderate there for most of eastern Kentucky, down towards southeastern Kentucky, southwest Virginia, over towards southern West Virginia, even East Tennessee. And again, level 3, then level 2. So the entire region under the gun today for something. We got that tornado watch for everybody except for the East Tennessee counties till 6. They go until 7 there in Claiborne and Campbell counties. So again, a very active day shaping up there. Let's go back to Doppler there, Cameron, and see what we've got, if there's anything new information on that, and go back in there. Of course, very electrical. It looks like another little discrete cell trying to form back over toward the Hazard area.
Also back towards
and
Pike
back
County
toward
as
Pike
well.
County as well. So a couple of ones we're still watching, not severe at this point. No rotation showing up right now, but again, some rotation right there south of Corbin, southeast of Corbin, approaching Barberville. Actually, if we can switch back to the other, was that Jackson?
This
yeah,
is Morristown right
so
here.
let's go back to Jackson for just a second. See there? Right there crossing 6, and again, let's put a track on that right fast since it's moving kind of east. So this is a heads up for Barberville. It's kind of broadening out just a smidge, but again, not quite enough. So you got about 5 minutes to get in your safe spot there in Barberville. That's downstairs under something sturdy, basement if you've got it. If you live in a mobile home, get out, try to find somewhere safe, but as long as you can get there in 5 minutes. If you can't, hunker down. Mobile homes usually aren't safe anyway. Cannon at 1236, Hinkle at 1238, DeWitt at 1242, and then Scalf there at 1244. So that's most of central Knox County. But again, that rotation moving directly towards you. No tornado confirmed with this, not even a tornado warning, but there's enough rotation. There's no spin in these storms that it could drop a quick tornado between scans and be gone before we even catch it. So again, better to be safe than sorry in situations like today.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of some nerding out behind the scenes
Go right
here
ahead.
on the SPC page, and I'm just going to pass along the shear in southeast Kentucky is approaching 50 knots.
Okay.
And then thermodynamics, the CAPE, or the instability, the storm fuel is approaching 2,000 to 2,500 joules. So we are looking at some,
We're primed.
needless to say, some good conditions for severe weather today.
We're primed for severe weather today, of course. That's what we're on the air for, tracking all this, continue to watch that. Anything above 2,000 CAPE is pretty good storm fuel for that, and of course.
Especially in August.
Yeah,
we haven't
exactly.
talked about that yet. This is a pretty rare event for August standards.
Exactly. And Evan Hatter, who is no longer with us, but he's kind of our historian there for weather, was mentioning earlier that this is the first level 4 moderate risk to include the city of Hazard since 1990 in August. So it's been a while since the city of Hazard has been included. I'm pretty sure for most of the area it's under the level 4 risk. Probably one of the rarest level 4 risk ever in our area there, parts of southeastern Kentucky, southwest.
Yeah, the
Virginia.
last one in general since 2017.
Exactly.
So that's about more than 6 years. It was March of 2017.
So it's a very rare event.
A rare event for eastern Kentucky for sure. We don't say that to scare anybody, but you just need to take today very seriously.
Exactly. That's what we've been preaching all day. Cameron preached it last time. I've been preaching it this morning. It does look like, though, our rotation has kind of fallen apart just a little bit. So we may see them maybe kind of let that warning go just a little bit. Lots of lightning still there coming up on Barberville. That's a good sign. So again, the rotation a little bit more broad at this point. Still some strong wind in it. Very electrical storm. Let's see how many strikes we got there in that part of western Knox County right there west of Barberville. I'm sure it's probably more than 100. Yeah, 169. So again, that's a very intense electrical storm. Strong winds, heavy rain, all threats on the table today for any of these storms. And as our friends at the Weather Service office at Jackson said in their conference call earlier, most of these storms will be rotating. Okay, so that's not to scare anybody. It just shows you if you look up at the sky and you see the clouds kind of circulating, all these storms are going to have those characteristics. So that's not necessarily mean a tornado is going to happen. It just means that there's a possibility for that. That's why we're under that tornado watch until 6 for most of the region. Did the new update come in?
I haven't seen it yet. I just wanted to point out that watch while you talked about it.
There's the tornado watch. Goes until 6 for everybody but Claiborne and Campbell. In East Tennessee there goes until 7 for them. But again, I think this event, as Cameron and I have been talking about, and as we've been kind of watching, I think this event will be kind of scaled back pretty quickly today. After 4 o'clock, we showed you the models this morning. He showed you the models last night. It's racing across the region due to that low-level jet. So again, be aware that I think our prime time, I said it this morning, I put it till 6 on the graphic. But again, I think 4 will do it for most of us. Once the atmosphere gets worked over, I think things will calm down a little bit.
Yeah, still no updates, a little bit late there, but we'll get that out whenever it drops. But yeah, still tracking this storm now solely into Knox County. So an all clear for Whitley County from this storm. There could be more later, but an all clear in Whitley County from this storm. Still watching out for a severe thunderstorm. Looks like the Weather Service says the storm is getting more organized in Knox County with a strong inflow showing up. So that's what we're looking at right now in Knox County. So Barberville, There is no technical tornado warning, but still treat this as so, and go ahead and go to your safe place, the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. You don't want to be in a car and you don't want to be in a mobile home. And I think Ridley County was just dropped from that warning, so good call there.
So basically, we still got a piece of Laurel left, but mainly Knox County, central Knox County there, including the city of Barberville, parts of Clay County, maybe just a sliver of Clay County, just a sliver of Bell County. So again, that area always seems to get some of the worst storms go through there. But again, right now we're focused on Knox County. And if you were in Barberville, it's on top of you right now. So be in your safe spot, hunker down as soon as it's safe to do so, and make sure the storm has passed you by quite a bit. And even once the thunder stops rumbling, give yourself a few extra minutes to go outside, because if you can still hear thunder rolling, that means you can still be struck by lightning. But again, we're keeping a very close eye on that rotation there just west of Barberville. It does look like it's starting to tighten back up just a smidge, Cameron.
Yeah, that'll be moving right through Barberville over the next few minutes. So time is running out to take shelter in Barberville.
Exactly. So he's got another track on it there. So Bimble, you've got to about 1238. Also in Knox County, DeWitt, 1244. Scalf over into, I think that's far eastern Knox County there at 1247. Asher's Fort, 1256. Gardner, 1257. And Queendale at 1259 right before. If this storm holds together, this storm is supposed to dissipate and be unwarned at 1245. So we'll see if it holds together that longer, if they decide to issue a new warning, and what that warning might be.
You can see a little bit of what they were talking about here. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see with the lightning. Let me see if I can possibly, I don't know if I can turn the lightning off for a second. Oh, yeah, I can. Here we go.
Yeah.
So you can see
right there.
Yeah, a little bit of an inflow here.
Right.
So that's where your winds are coming in and your winds are going out back here. So there's your rotation. It'd be very close to Dishman Springs and Knox County.
So right there, Barberville, you just got a few minutes coming up on 25E. It'll be south of Emmanuel. It'll be south of all that, but a very electrical storm. But yeah, he's right there is kind of that inflow notch, and those winds kind of spinning inside of that. And again, coming up on Highway 11, looks like. Be just to the north there of 930, but this does look to impact, if it holds together, the city of Barberville very, very soon, racing to the east at 50 miles per hour. So again, these storms are not taking their time today. They're going to be flying. That's why we're going to see that threat limited there for a little while as we head into the afternoon hours. But again, this is just the first of what we expect. Let's reset real fast and get a kind of a regional view. You see more storms firing up north. You see more storms firing back over toward Pike County. No warnings on those at this point. Had a little bit of rain come through here in Hazard earlier. And again, a little bit of storms down into parts of East Tennessee. Again, those are warned too, but this Claiborne and Campbell counties down that way. Lexington getting some pretty strong storms right now, but that's about the only game in town. So there's a lot of energy to work with here over the next few hours between now and 4 or 5 o'clock. So we're going to keep watching these, keep on the air if we need to be, and of course, we'll see what they're going to do with this one here.
Yeah, I'm watching this storm, but on radar scope, a little bit better, higher quality there, and you can see a better inflow just to the southwest of Barberville. And it's not showing up terribly well on our system, but I'll try to draw on here. This part of the storm doesn't look great on our system, but on a high-definition radar, it looks better southwest of Barberville, pushing east.
So see if you can switch to Jackson. I think we're still on Morristown, see if it shows any better there.
Let's see. Yeah, so you can kind of see what I was talking about. There's a little bit of a little bit further east. Let me go back to that.
So basically, this is one of those areas that's kind of, it's not as far out as, say, places like Wayne County or I-75 West, but it's one of those areas. So he's got it circled right there. So right there, coming up on Highway 11, if you're coming out of Barberville to the south in Knox County, and then again 25 east. So this is about to go through the main drag of Barberville right there in the next few minutes, maybe the southern half of the town right there in the next few minutes, crossing 25 east. So just be aware of that.
We also have a report of hail 1 mile to the north of downtown Barberville. Let's take a look at the hail numbers with this storm. And see what they're looking like. So yeah, we have some potentially large hail coming into Barberville at this hour. So let's see what this is giving here. This dark blue color is about 1.5 inches, and that would be close to ping pong ball sized hail pushing into Barberville over the next few minutes.
Right, so we're just kind of keeping an eye on all that. Still no update from the SPC. I'm looking over at the other monitor. You could just come down?
No, not SBC,
Okay.
but Jackson is saying the rotation continues to tighten. If this continues, a tornado warning will be issued soon.
All right, so we're going to stick with it because, again, if they upgrade that we want to be here for it. Don't want to drop out there before the possibility. But, again, Barberville, put one more track on this, Cameron. Kind of track it right there into town.
Trying to switch over again to get a better look at that, where the rotation would be. I'm assuming it's down here and then pushing east like this.
There you go. So Barberville, you've got just a few more minutes. We said 12:35 just a few minutes ago, but you've got till 12:41 to get in your safe spot. Remember, downstairs, under something sturdy. Put as much between you and the outside as possible. Put a helmet on if you've got one. Could be a bicycle helmet, could be a sports helmet. Treat this like a tornado warning, even though it's not a tornado warning yet. The Weather Service saying it could be upgraded potentially to one here very shortly. And this is going to clip Barberville, so you've got limited time to get into your safe spot. So if you're a little bit east of Barberville, like Bimble over toward Flat Lick, DeWitt, Walker, Scalf, have a little bit more time, but not a lot. So basically it's 12:38 right now. You've got just about 10, 15 minutes in those eastern Knox County communities to get into your safe spot. Because again, let's see if we can we see that any better on?
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's, I mean, it's kind of murky right there.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's in a bad spot.
Yeah, so I mean, again, kind of draw again, we're talking about the rotation where you see it on the other system.
Yeah, one sec. It's basically the southwestern flank, so near Swan Lake, near Highway 11. Basically, that's where the rotation is trying to tighten up there, just to the southwest of downtown Barberville. But still, if I were in Barberville, I would be sheltered.
Oh, absolutely, especially if you live a little bit south of town on 25E. Make sure there it is. There's a new that's tornado warning.
Yep.
So all right, let's reset and kind of look and see where that's at.
Let's see.
And who it's for. That includes the city of Barberville. I can tell you that already.
Yeah, so Barberville, take shelter.
Exactly.
You
take
should have
shelter
already
right
been.
Now. You should have been in there already. Tornado warning until 1:15 for Bell, Clay, Harlan, Knox, and Leslie counties. And again, hail going up to 1.25 inches, which is a little bit more than ping pong sized hail. So again, take shelter if you live in any of those counties, especially if you live anywhere in this polygon here. So that would be parts of southern Clay County, just south of Asher's Fork there. That's back over 421 and parts of Leslie County. I think that's below Stennett. I know it's below Hyden for sure. And then over into parts of, let me step this way and kind of see the polygon there. Okay, so if they continue to extend this, that will be in Harlan before too long. If this warning holds together, that's Harlan right over there. So again, north of Pineville, or actually coming up on Harlan if it holds together there. But again, Bell, Clay, parts of Bell, Clay, Harlan, Knox, most of Knox there. And then, of course,
that rotation, sorry, Brendan, it's right on top of Barberville.
Absolutely. So you need to be in your safe spot right now in Barberville. And you can see right there, he's circling it. It's kind of on the back end of the tornado warning. But again, that doesn't mean that you don't need to be in a safe spot right now. That rotation is tight there near Barberville. So again, Bimble, it's coming up on you in the next few minutes. DeWitt, you've got a few minutes to get in shelter. Scalf, all of you guys should have already been in shelter. But if you're not, get there right now. This is a very serious situation. And again, tornado warning out for until 1:15 for several counties. Again, eastern Knox County under the gun right now. But if you're in Barberville proper, you need to be in a safe spot. That inflow literally comes.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for west central Harlan County, northeastern Bell County, central Knox County, southwestern Leslie County, southeastern Clay County, until 1:15 p.m. At 12:38 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Boone Heights, or over Barberville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and half-dollar size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near DeWitt around 12:45 p.m. Walker around 12:50 p.m. Field around 12:55 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Beverly and Spruce Pine. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 1:15 p.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Bell, Clay, Harlan, Knox, and Leslie.
Tornado watch goes for a little while longer. What's that news? Is there another severe thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, they've gone ahead and put out one around this tornado warning to go ahead and push it out a little bit further.
And that's a considerable threat, isn't it?
Yeah, 70-mile-per-hour winds.
So again, very, very active. So this new warning includes parts of several counties there. I believe it's Bell, Clay, Harlan, Knox, and Leslie. Thank you for that 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable threat tag. So not only do you have this possible tornado, you've got winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. And we've talked about that. Weather Service even said earlier today, possible near hurricane force winds. So you got to really pay attention to that 1.75. What's that on the scale over there?
That is golf ball size.
Golf ball size hail potentially there. So you've got your tornado warning, you've got your tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning with that tag on it. And again, both of those, let's reset there back into Knox County and kind of take a look at the tornado warning and see where it's going. So it's just east of Barberville right now.
It's a very impressive storm.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I know a lot of folks have been asking me about an outbreak we had a while back, and this is nothing like that. But when you see that notch there just a little bit, let's take a look. Let's just for kicks. Let's see. Take a look at debris.
Okay.
Just to see if we can see anything there. If there, this will give us an idea if there is a tornado and where it might be.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. So that's a good sign. That is a good sign. That means potentially that a tornado has not touched down. But again, very possible that it could be getting ready to touch down. But this is, regardless, it's very strong winds right there in that inflow notch. And this is rolling into Old Flatleg. It'll be rolling toward DeWitt here in the next little bit. And again, this is kind of north of the Trosper area, north of 4 Mile, right there along the Bell County line. So again, just take this very seriously. And if you're in DeWitt or eastern Knox County, you need to be getting into your tornado shelters right now if you're not already.
We just got that new update real quickly. I want to see if anything's changed before we get back into the warning.
Okay.
And it looks like everything stayed the same.
It does look like everything stayed the same. Yeah, everybody's good. Same. So, no new changes to the 1230 SPC update. It dropped a little bit late today. So go right back into the tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. That's also a considerable tag too. So again, that's stout.
It's impressive.
That's stout right there.
Southeast Kentucky in August. That's very impressive.
So right here is kind of what we're looking at. That inflow
right on
notch.
25E.
Yeah.
Is
so
where that possible.
If you know anybody traveling from Pineville toward Barberville on 25E, tell them pull over. Tell them pull over, especially if they're in like the Bell County, Knox County line area. Tell them to pull over, find somewhere to get in safe. Again, it's never going to hurt anything. Tracking it out one more time: 1247 Old Flatleg, 1251 Walker, 1252 Ivy Grove, 1255 Blanche, and 1256 Rella. I believe that's how you say that. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But again, just let me know if I am. But very, very impressive right there, Cameron.
Yeah. So. Old Flatleg, you're next in line for the possibility of a tornado. Again, no confirmation, but this storm is very impressive on radar, so we are tracking that radar indicated rotation pushing really along Highway 25E just to the south and east of downtown Barberville. This is close to, let's see, with T-Run Branch Road, Highway 930, also E. Fortney Branch Road. Any of these areas sound familiar? Go to your safe place. That's the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Put on a helmet. You don't want to be in a car and you don't want to be in a mobile home. You need to find more substantial shelter if you're southeast of downtown Barberville. And again, this is pushing off to the east. DeWitt, go to your safe place. If you live near Ivy Grove in Bell County, go to your safe place. Blanche in Bell County, safe place. Now, some good news. The tornadic part of this storm will stay north of Pineville, north of Middlesboro, so you're not included in the warning.
Right.
The tornado warning, Pineville, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornadic part will stay north of you guys.
Exactly. So two things to note there, but that storm really looking impressive and very electrical. It's very kind of tight right there. So Old Flatleg, basically it's right on top of you there, Highway 25E, US 25E there. Again, if you know anybody traveling, yeah, that's a decent little storm right there.
Yeah.
No confirmation of a tornado on the ground. I want to be clear on that, but again, it's a definite possibility there. So we're going to continue to watch that. It doesn't look.
Yeah, I'm not sold just yet, but
Yeah.
again, we are way up in the atmosphere with this radar.
Exactly. So again, just be careful and make sure you take all the possible precautions. And if you're east of this, let's zoom out just a hair. Let's give some folks some early heads up and track this out a little further as it goes over into parts of Leslie and Harlan counties. Let's track it all the way out into Harlan County. So this is the first alert. This is a heads up for you to find you a safe spot, okay? This is your first warning to be like, hey, I need to get in my tornado shelter. If I live in a mobile home, I got to find somewhere I can get to fairly quickly. That should have been, that was the plan part of your phase. Of course, the tornado watch started a little bit earlier. I always tell kids in school, that's your planning period. So when the tornado watch goes up or any kind of watch, you plan for what you're going to do if there's an actual warning. Now there's a warning, and you see if this holds together, it'll be at Harlan by 115, Loyal over in Harlan County at 113, South Wallens in Harlan County at 109, backing up toward Laurel Ford. I believe that might be in Bell County at 101, and then Ivy Grove and Rilla, I do know, are in Bell County there at 1252 and 1256 respectively. So Harlan, you've got about less than 30 minutes. Wallens, you've got a little bit less than 30 minutes there, about 20 minutes actually, a little more than 20 minutes. So get into those safe spots right now. Lowest part of your home, downstairs in a basement is best. Put as much between you and the outside. Stay away from windows, and if you're in mobile homes or in cars, find a substantial shelter that you can get to within 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, so we're still tracking this potential tornadic storm pushing into eastern Knox County. This is now east of Barberville, so I feel pretty well saying Barberville. This is east of you now, but now we're looking at places near DeWitt, also places near Highway 930, Old Flat Lick, any of these areas in eastern Knox County. You really need to be in your safe place. I did notice, Brandon, we are about 4,500 feet off the surface from the radar to this storm, so we are well up in the sky, so we're not really getting a good look at what's happening at the surface with this storm.
Exactly, and that's the thing to know about Doppler radar. The further out you are from the radar, the higher the beam scans. So you get a little bit of a disadvantage the further away from the radar you are. So if you were in places like Breathitt County or Perry County, it's going to be pretty close there. What you got?
Weather Service says correlation coefficient is possibly detecting something in Knox County. So let's take a look at that.
Let's take a look at that real fast. It would be right here in this area.
Yeah.
So this is the area that, again, no confirmation.
Possible.
Let me stress that, no confirmation. But if there was a tornado that touched down, it would be right here in this Old Flat Lake area right there where you're seeing those brighter colors.
Yeah, we'll watch out for that very closely.
Let's keep an eye on that for a couple of minutes there. But it's kind of murky.
It is murky, but
so we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that.
There's the newest update from radar. Let's see.
So it would be close over there. But again, just if you, once it's safe to do so, if you live in that community there, that'd be on 25E between Pineville and Barberville, let us know. We're going back and forth here, so let's do that. Let's rock back and forth one more time. So I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, but again, it's not definitive.
Right.
There's no exact evidence that it touched down. So if something did touch down, that would be the area that it would be in. But again, we're not saying that that's a confirmed tornado, but that's the area it would have touched down in if it did touch down. Yeah,
so we're going to continue to watch out for that very closely.
Okay.
No new updates from on the warning aspect. I guess the warning will continue until 1:15, I believe.
Yeah, 1:15 on the tornado warning, and I believe the severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag
also 1:15.
It's also 1:15. So that's a tornado possible. That's just outside of Harlan. So again, that takes in parts of western Harlan County. I can tell you the tornado warning will go along 119, kind of between Pineville and Harlan there, really close to Harlan. So if you're in that area, again, this storm, if it's tracking east, that bit that could have that tornado could come right there. And here's the thing, if it's moving straight east, right here is kind of the notch. This is your alert for Harlan. Watch, follow my finger there, right there. It's going to basically be in Harlan before you know it. So again, if you're in Harlan, take shelter, don't wait, because I guarantee you if this doesn't start dying down, which I doubt it will because it's in an area that is very much full of fuel right now, Harlan, you'll be under this tornado warning before you know it. So if you live in Harlan proper and east of Harlan, make sure that you're already in your tornado safe spot, taking those extra precautions right now.
Yep, so still watching out for the possibility of a quick spin-up tornado here in eastern Knox County. Again, nothing is confirmed, but we are watching out for the radar indicated rotation now just to the south of DeWitt, just to the east of Old Flat Lick, where these reds and greens are touching. So green, that is wind going towards Jackson, and you got red, that's wind going away from Jackson. So there is your counterclockwise rotation, and that is why we are watching out for the potential for a possible tornado. And very close to the Bell and Knox County line, and that will continue pushing off to the east. Let's do another track on this real quick. And this is pushing off About 50 to 55 miles per hour to the east. So over the next 20 to 25 minutes there, we got Sailor 105, Spruce Pine 106, South Wallens 108, and again near Harlan around 113 to 115. So there you go. There's your first alert timings in Harlan. If this holds together, not saying that it will, but it could very likely hold together. As Brandon just mentioned, the atmosphere is very untapped in this part of Kentucky. So we're going to continue to watch out for that.
Exactly. And Cameron, correct if I'm wrong, is this another inflow notch trying to develop right here?
It's possible.
In an association, because we got that one, and then when you see the when you switch the radars there just a little bit, it's not showing a whole lot of rotation, but there could be some definite strong winds there right along Highway 66 as it crosses the Bell County line there.
Yeah, also watching out for the potential for some large hail as well.
Back toward Barberville for sure, but that's clear. There it goes. There's the new scan. But DeWitt, probably seeing some decent hail out there. Again, just be aware of that. This is a multi-threat storm, and it's going to be a multi-threat day. So again, this is the only active warnings we have in our area. I know a lot of folks are probably on Facebook asking about, what about my area? What about my area? This is it right now. It's all in Knox County going into Bell County. And again, I would expect them to drop Barberville proper from the tornado warning any minute now, because you guys are basically in the clear. This is in eastern Knox County getting ready to cross the line into Bell County. So Highway 66 down toward Harlan County. Again, you guys need to be kind of in your safe spots right now. On Kettle Island and Pineville, you guys are not in this. Varilla going down 119, going back up toward Harlan. But again, eventually, as you're going toward Harlan, you're going to kind of run into this, especially if it continues on its current track. But the possibility that we've been watching for that rotation is right there just east of Flat Lick in Knox County, coming up on the Bell County border.
Yeah, some good news. I've noticed the storm isn't as well defined as it was just a few minutes ago. You can see when it was near Barberville, it had a very tight structure. Now it's a little bit more loose. That's good news. That could mean this storm is weakening a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that as well.
Exactly. We really have to keep a close eye on this, because as we've mentioned several times, it's going into an untapped atmosphere. So this atmosphere has not been worked over yet. So we're going to have to keep, because what happens sometimes with these storms, they'll start to weaken and then they'll cycle back up, and then they start to weaken and they'll cycle back up, and that's when you get your brief spin up tornadoes in that. So again, we're really going to have to pay close attention to this one as it gets closer to Bell and Harlan counties.
Yeah, I'm looking at the some more behind the scenes stuff here from the Storm Prediction Center, and again, those parameters are impressive to say the least for August in eastern Kentucky. We have let's see, Cape is approaching. Again, that 2,500 Joule Cape is ticking east, so we are looking at Cape continuing across the mountains. And again,
that's storm fuel, by the way.
Yeah, and shear, which is kind of the different wind speeds or wind directions with height that can cause rotation, and is also very impressive over southeast Kentucky. So again, this storm is moving into a region that is favorable, to say the least, for severe weather.
Exactly. So again, continuing to watch this tornado warning for parts of several counties, mostly going from Knox into Bell right now until 1:15. We're going to stay with that. Some heavy rain approaching 421 in Leslie County. You guys are kind of in the tornado polygon, but not really. But 421 is not for sure. But that's Moselle and south into parts of Harlan County. The rotation we're watching is basically right there, just east of DeWitt at this point, it looks like, getting ready to cross into Bell County.
Yeah, it's definitely not as strong as it was. That's some good news there.
But again, even though the rotation is looking a little bit better, you've got these notches. And anywhere you have these notches, especially if it's embedded in these storms, that's strong winds. So again, strong winds can be just as dangerous as a tornado. So you got to really keep an eye on that as well as you head into the afternoon hours. Again, this will probably be our first of several warnings. The atmosphere very primed for warnings today. Let's take a recap real fast just to kind of see if there's anything else going on. A couple of pop-up storms over in the Big Sandy up to the north, but for the most part, this is the only game in town right now for most of our region. So we're going to continue to watch this. This will move eventually if it holds together over it. Now there's a little bit over here toward Wise County that might kind of take a little bit of the bump out of the atmosphere just a little bit. But again, I think coming through basically Harlan into Cumberland, not a whole lot of action over there just yet.
Yeah, and that's exactly where this storm is going. So it's moving into a favorable environment. And oh, look at this part right here. Let's go back to this. Maybe a little, well, there we go. Near Rella.
Yeah, so
Let's
right
see,
there.
Let me change this from.
So that's approaching Highway 11.
do this here.
Between Rella and Field.
Yeah,
I see where
so
you're looking there. So yeah,
maybe a little bit of a tightening here.
Yeah, so again, that's what we're talking about. Sometimes these storms can weaken, tighten right back up. So we're not done with this one just yet. It's crossing 66, crossing 66. I'm sorry, there wasn't 11. There's 66 there in Rella, just south of Rella there in Bell County. And then again, if you keep on going, you've got Stony Fork over on 221. You've got Laurel Ford on 221. So this is crossing very close into Harlan County in the next few minutes there. So again, if you're in Harlan proper or if you're in Cumberland, if this thing holds together, it's going to be in your neck of the woods. I'm calling out the most populated towns in the areas. That way you have plenty of time to get into shelter. We, of course, track the smaller towns as well. We've given you pretty good notice on you need to be in the shelter in those. But again, as you get closer to the Harlan-Bell County line, you've got Highway 119, you've got 221, and it does look like, at least on the structure,
It's
it might have
trying
tightened
for
back
sure.
up just a little bit.
It's trying.
Yeah, so that'll be crossing 66 here momentarily. These storms are racing today east at 50 to 55 miles per hour. So this storm is kind of racing across the area.
I do want to note Barberville no longer in the warning, so
yeah,
an all
so
clear for Barberville.
That's exactly right. They've canceled it from every warning, tornado and severe thunderstorm and all that. They trimmed those back as the community starts to get clear. Now, DeWitt, you're still in the severe thunderstorm warning there with a tornado possible tag, I believe. And then, of course, Pineville's still in that one. But again, all this is to the north of Pineville. So again, I'd say they'll let parts of that warning go here in the next little bit. But between, on 66, between Rella and Field,
It's still noisy.
It's still noisy, that's for sure. So again, here's what happens in situations like this, and this is what we've been talking about for a couple of days now. When you get a very active atmosphere, tornadoes, and this, we never said this was going to be a long track event. This is going to be basically a spin up event, up and down real fast, okay? Brief spin ups, but you can even get those brief touchdowns even between radar scans. That's how fast they can be. So you really have to pay attention for that when situations like this arise, because of the simple point, it could be down and back up before we even see it. So that's why the debris, when we showed that a little earlier, was noisy. It's hard to kind of see if it did touch down. So if you're in areas where it might have touched down, back over toward Flat Lake and now eventually over toward Rella, once the storm passes and it's safe to do so, let us know what you've seen. Send them on social media, send us an email, something like that, or tag us, because we need to know what's going on, because you guys are our eyes and ears out there when it comes to storm reports.
Yeah, we'll do another track on this off to the east, around 55 miles per hour for the next 30 minutes. So Tackytown next in line, 107, Sailor 109, South Wallens 111, and then pushing into potentially downtown Harlan at 117. So about 18 more minutes or so in downtown Harlan. Going towards Everett's, about 125, Pine Mountain 126. Again, Harlan, downtown Harlan, not in the warning, but if this is extended, if that rotation continues, then you will be under the warning. So we're giving you the first alert to keep a close eye on this storm as it pushes off to the east.
Cameron, do you have Slack pulled up over there?
Yeah.
Like our newsroom Slack?
I can, yeah.
I just saw on my watch that we have some photos from somebody. I don't know where they're from.
Okay.
But let's see what those are.
Weather Service says rotation is wrapping up significantly near Rella, so we just noted that as well. So they agree.
Yeah, they agree with that statement. So again, Harlan, get to shelter. No time left. I mean, you've got a few minutes, about 17 minutes. We're just crossing 1 o'clock. Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson, along with meteorologist Cameron Aaron here on the air here on WYMT TV and Hazard. But again, we're tracking a tornado warning that's eventually going to move into Harlan County out of Bell County. Tightening rotation, so again, definitely possible. No confirmed touchdowns yet, but it's crossing 66 in Bell County, eventually working its way toward the Harlan County line. And we've got some populated areas going to be in the path of this if it holds together.
Yeah.
Now, again, if it holds together, they're going to extend that warning.
Yep.
So again, we're going to keep an eye on that. Of course, right there is the inflow that he's kind of circling right there. So that's the area of most concern at this point. So Blanche, Rella, those areas. Harlan was at 117 on our last track. So this is moving toward Harlan. It's moving toward Everett's. It's moving toward Pine Mountain. Now, for the folks, my Harlan County folks, this side of Pine Mountain it's moving toward is the Leslie County side of Pine Mountain. We also call the other side going toward Whitesburg Pine Mountain as well. It's the same chain, but some people call that Whitesburg Mountain. So we're talking about Pine Mountain going from Harlan into Leslie when we talk about the Pine Mountain on the track on this one. So again, just to kind of keep it straight there for my folks in Harlan County, because I know as a Harlan County, we kind of differentiate those between calling them Whitesburg Mountain and Pine Mountain. It just makes it easier for us to kind of keep track of.
Yeah, I need to switch this to Jackson because we're getting a very good look at this from Jackson. Let me go ahead and save this real quick.
Okay.
So I don't have to keep switching back and forth. All right, so you can see right here, some very tight rotation just to the east of Rella.
So right there, circle it for me right quick,
okay,
Cameron. So right here, that's where we're looking. So you see the reds and greens going together, and you've actually got a little bit of blue, which could be an indication of something. It's kind of a higher end of the scan, so different colors. That means potentially that there could be, I don't know, debris not really showing anything.
Not sold on that just yet.
Yeah, but typically when you see that and it matches up with debris, that means that possibly it could be a touchdown. But again, no confirmed touchdowns at this point, but this area of rotation really showing up well there. Just to the east of Rella there, approaching basically 221 over at Stony Fork and Laurel Ford. So again, really tightening back up. So I would be shocked if it held on to this current structure to not see them extend the tornado warning toward Harlan proper.
Yeah, so just a heads up, if you live in Stony Fork or Tacky Town near the Knox and Harlan County line, go ahead and go to your safe place because this is a storm that is capable of producing a tornado. Again, nothing is confirmed, but we are tracking that tightening rotation now just to the east of Rella and Knox County, or Bell County, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to continue pushing off to the east, very close to Laurel Ford, also very close to Stony Fork at this hour near Highway 221. That is where this rotation is in eastern Bell County.
Okay, so again, resetting here for you just to kind of give you a heads up where we're at. We're tracking this tornado warning until 1:15 for parts of several counties. Right now we're focused on Bell County right there between Highway 66 and Highway 221. So if this continues, it will cross 119 between Pineville and Harlan here pretty soon, and then it'll also move its way into parts of western Harlan County. So that would be South Wallens, that would be Harlan, that would be eventually, if it holds together, it would cross over toward Cumberland. I don't know if it would go toward Cumberland proper, but it would head toward the Everett is in the path of that there. And again, this is basically working its way east. So all my friends over in Harlan County, go ahead and get into your safe spot. Take shelter now, lowest level of your home. Make sure that you have a helmet on if you have one available. Could be a bicycle helmet, could be a sports helmet. Really doesn't matter. Got to treat this like, well, I mean, it is a tornado warning, but you really got to take it seriously there because, as I tell school kids all the time, is there a tornado every time there's a tornado warning? No, but could there be? Absolutely. You got to take it just as seriously as if there's a tornado warning, or if there's a tornado or not a tornado, it's a tornado warning. So again, be extra careful with that. Little hail showing up over there, basically in the area we've been watching for that rotation. So what's the darker blue there?
Let's see. That is around quarter size.
Yeah, around quarter size there. So again, some hail with these storms, some strong winds with these storms, very electrical, lots of lightning. Not as much as there was before, but still a good, decent bit of lightning out there. So again, we're just kind of continuing to watch this. It is working its way toward the Harlan County line. It's not quite there just yet, but it's getting closer by the minute.
Yep, still watching out for that tight rotation really on the southern border of this warning. If the Jackson radar is correct, you can see the southern extent of the warning is really on top of where that rotation is tightening up there. So heads up in Laurel Ford near Highway 221 and also near Cardinal, near Tacky Town in Harlan County. Please go to your safe place. That's the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. If you know anybody that may be in this portion of the world and are not tuned into the radar, call them, give them a heads up, make sure that they know that there is a possible tornado and pushing into eastern Bell County. Again, nothing is on the ground confirmed, but we are watching out for that rotation to continue into eastern Bell County.
Okay, I see a new mesoscale discussion over there. Let's see what that is. Also, this is not just a severe threat. There's now a flood advisory out for some of these counties down into Bell, Clay, and Whitley. So this is a heavy rain event for some. So again, actually multi-threats today with this one. Of course, rain kind of on the back burner because these storms are moving so fast, but you can get some high water reports there and they can happen quickly. So again,
it looks like the discussion hasn't popped up yet, but when it does, I'll pass that along.
We'll keep it up. I'm just trying to kind of keep an eye on social media here. Also, real quick heads up, if you're trying to get alerts on Twitter, our we have lost our connection to our Twitter account. So again, we use a program that posts to Twitter for us. It's disconnected right now. So again, Facebook, the WYMT First Alert Weather app, those are your best options right here on TV. Again, I wanted to mention that on air once before I forgot it, because we're just kind of disconnected from Twitter right now. All right, what you got, Cameron? Anything new?
Nothing new just yet, but this storm is getting to the end of the warning. It expires at 1:15, so less than 10 minutes. So I would suspect we should be getting an update from the Weather Service here soon on what they wanted to do.
And here, it's upcycling and downcycling.
Right.
So it's just one of those. It's just kind of coming and going. But here's the thing: if they do decide to let this warning go, it would not surprise me if it tightened back up a little bit, that they will go ahead and reissue another one. So again, this is the way that these storms work, especially in this part of the country. There, you'll see them kind of, downgrade a little bit, tighten back up, and upgrade a little bit. So again, we're just really watching this. It is approaching. The storm seems to have slowed down just a little bit. Does it seem that way to you?
Let's see. It looks like it's moving at 50 instead of 55, so possibly a little bit.
So, I mean, it looks like it's been kind of over that same area for just a little bit, at least the pockets of rotation there we've been watching. So, again, that's something we're continuing to watch. But, again, this is basically on the Bell-Harlan County line there. And South Wallens and Wallens Creek, you are in that warning. So
let's see if this pops up here. So I think this might be from earlier. So this might be the one from earlier today. So I'll go ahead and kind of draw where the SPC is saying there's the best chance for a quick spin up tornado in our region.
Okay.
I'm kind of trying to freehand this here.
Go right ahead.
Looks like it goes just to the east of West Liberty, down to Jackson, and then down to near Middlesboro. So basically
that's the best chance right there.
Yeah, so right here, which is basically what we thought all along. The moderate risk is where we have the best chance of instability and shear combined. So.
Exactly. So here's the thing. We're just past 1 o'clock. Once this pushes out, we could re-energize the atmosphere because it's still heat of the day, basically. Okay? So I don't know how much we could re-energize it, but there is still time to re-energize it. So again, I think that's a pretty good call. And the tornado watch goes until 6. So we've got some time still to go. So this tornado warning is still working through an area that's not been worked over a whole lot in the last little bit. So did I see that flash?
No, maybe not. No updates yet.
Okay, I thought I saw something flash there for a second. So DeWitt, looks like you're out of the tornado warning at this point. And then again, this is basically, I would say they'll let most of Knox County out of it because most of Knox County is out of the warning at this point.
I would agree.
So again, guys, over Knox County, you should be clear from this. Maybe still some leftover lightning. It's basically east of 66. Coming up on 72 there over toward the Harlan and the Bell County line, and 119, 221. There's some roads, 421 coming into Harlan County from Leslie County. You guys are not in that warning yet, but we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens and see if this tightens up anymore.
Yeah, that rotation on top of 221 and Laurel Ford right now in eastern Bell County. And again, this is knocking on the door of Harlan County. So this is pushing into Harlan County over the next few minutes there. So a heads up in Tackytown, Tremont, South Wallens, US 119. This will be very close to you over the next few minutes. We'll do a little bit of a track here real quick.
And then you got Moelis is coming up. It's right over the border in Harlan County from Bell County. So again, several different areas can be impacted there in the next few minutes. So you've got Harlan at 123, Mary Helen at 127, Ray at 128, Loyal at 121, and South Wallens there at 118. And Moelis is basically right on top of you there. About 3 minutes left to get into your safe spot. It's coming up on you.
Yeah, and this does expire in 5 minutes, so we should get an update here soon on what the Weather Service wants to do.
Exactly. So we'll keep you posted on that. But again, it's ebbing and flowing, Cameron. I mean, it really is, because it looks less defined now than it was a few minutes ago. But in the next few minutes, it could tighten right back up, and they keep the warning going. So we've got just a few minutes, about 4 minutes now left before it's set to expire, and we'll see kind of what their thoughts are and kind of what it looks like it's doing out there. But right now, based on what we're seeing, the rotation is a little bit more on the broad side. But again, working into an area that the atmosphere is still untapped. So don't let your guard down just yet. There is a lot of daylight to go before this threat is over today, and some areas haven't been touched by any rain, so there's still a lot of juicy atmosphere to work with as it heads into parts of southeast Kentucky. But again, just past 111, we're going to wait and see what they do. 115 is when this tornado warning is supposed to expire. That's when the severe thunderstorm warning is supposed to expire too for those areas kind of surrounding. But again, Pineville proper starting to get some heavy rain potentially over that way, some strong winds. But that's about it at this point. Looks like that cell is kind of broken into another one, kind of working into that untapped atmosphere to the south, Cameron.
Down to the south, yeah, we're looking at a few more not severe cells in Bell County, but some heavy showers not too far away from downtown Pineville and Middlesboro. And again, a whopper of a thunderstorm just to the south of the border in Campbell and Claiborne County, Tennessee. And that severe thunderstorm warning does continue down there. But again, our focus is on the tornado warning in Bell County, pushing into Harlan County right now. And again, any of these cells to the north, we have to watch out for these very closely. Nothing right now, but any of these to the north could also turn severe very quickly, because as we've been talking about, this atmosphere is very ripe for severe weather today.
Exactly. So again, we're just kind of keeping an eye out to kind of reset while we're waiting to see what they're going to do with that. A lot of folks, I guarantee I can literally hear it in the Facebook comments now. Right now, what about my area? What about my area? There's one little cell we need to keep an eye on up to the north there that may be approaching the Mountain Parkway near Stanton. Is that a severe thunderstorm? That's a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got that one there coming out of central Kentucky. Otherwise, a few little thunder boomers over toward Pikeville, Pike County. Again, is that a
little bit of
possible tag?
Let's see, a little bit of a hook there just to the southeast of Lexington.
Winchester.
Yes, it is.
Possible tag, yeah. Outline there gave it away, but that's just outside of our area toward Lexington at this point. So again, we're keeping an eye on that storm. We're keeping an eye on several other storms there. Let's go back to reflectivity. There we go. Reflectivity for just a minute. Southwest Virginia, parts of southeast Kentucky, parts of eastern Kentucky. So there's a few embedded cells pretty much all over the place today. But again, not really tapped into all that energy that is still out there. But right now, we're going to see what's going to happen with this. Based on this radar image,
looks like they're going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning for Bell, Harlan, Leslie, and Letcher.
Okay, so they're going to do a tornado possible tag or just
I'm not sure.
A regular
Let me see.
But regardless of what they do,
It's a tornado possible.
Okay, so basically there's still enough rotation left on this one, and once it gets there, it goes right there. So that basically includes Harlan, that includes Everts, that includes Pine Mountain over on the Leslie County side, that includes Kaywood down there, and that basically takes it to the border. So again, Cumberland not in the polygon at this point, but again, it could be a next one as it crosses over into southwest Virginia. But
and again, just because this is a severe thunderstorm warning, don't let your guard down.
Exactly.
Because like we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes or so, or maybe more than that, this storm is ebbing and flowing. It's coming and going, so it could possibly spin back up again if over the next few minutes.
Let's put a track on that real fast to kind of give people the kind of heads up of when it could be in their area. So again, treat this like a tornado warning. It does have a tornado possible tag on it, so make sure you're getting into your safe spots back over toward Harlan and Everts, Pine Mountain.
Trying to find the best place to do that from. There's not really a clear indication of where this, I would assume here, but maybe it could change.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of gives you an idea. So basically Harlan at 124, Everts at 132, Kaywood at 130, Shorttown over there in Harlan County at 134, Tremont 120, Gatton over there at 126. So Molas basically on top. It's past you right now actually. So again, just be aware of that crossing into Harlan County. Not a tornado warning. They're probably going to let that one go. I'm thinking it might have just dropped actually at 115, and they replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So again, these areas still under the gun. Tornado could spin up there pretty quickly. As we head deeper into the afternoon, we're going to continue to see again the possibility for some rotation with that. I'm just checking a few things on my watch real fast. So, okay, just checking something.
I can go ahead and take over, Brandon, if you want to check that real quick.
Go ahead.
So we're still watching out for basically the southwestern flank of this storm on top of the Bell and Harlan County line. We're giving you the first alert in Harlan, also in South Wallens, over towards Everett, Kaywood, Cranks. All of these areas now under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. That means that There is a little bit of rotation, but it's not strong enough yet to have a tornado warning in place. But again, like we've been talking about, that could happen very quickly because the atmosphere is very primed for severe weather today on Monday, August the 7th now, Brandon. So we are riding on through the year 2023.
Deep into August, and unusual severe threat for this time of the year. But again, this is more like a spring threat out there.
Yeah.
So again, we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on things.
I'm going to take a look at some of the numbers here while we have a second. The temperatures and the dew points to see what those are like. If you step out the door right now, I can almost guarantee it's muggy, but I'd love to see how muggy it is. Let's see. So dew points right now in the, I would assume, lower 70s. Yep, so look at that. Middle to upper 70s in Somerset, London, Monticello. What does that mean? That means there is a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now, and storms love that, and that's one reason why we have that threat for severe weather today. A lot of moisture in the air, and those temperatures, let's take a look at those real quick. Let's put that in here. We can see temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s. So again, more than sufficient for some severe weather in the month of August. Upper 60s down in Campbell County, where they've had a whopper of a thunderstorm over the past few minutes there. Middle 70s in Middlesboro. It is raining there right now, but notice where it's not raining, we're in the upper 70s and lower 80s. So we are watching out for that right now. And
as I was watching that earlier, basically we've noticed that temperatures warmed up really fast this morning. So basically before even lunchtime, we were in the 80-degree range in some spots there. So we're keeping an eye on that. Also, is that a new one?
That's a stronger storm. A stronger storm in. Oh, I thought you were looking at the other one.
No, right here, this one.
That does include.
Yeah. So let's
the far southwestern
kind of the southern tip there. Okay.
Letcher County.
All right. So that's over toward the Gordon area. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So it's a very small sliver.
Yeah, basically over there, this is kind of the Gordon area where that's kind of, okay. So I was just like, why does that say Letcher County? Okay, I see it now. But again, continue to watch this for a few more minutes. We're moving right up 119. Heavy rain in Harlan right now. You got lightning turned off?
No.
Okay, so the lightning's kind of calmed down a little bit. It's just heavy rain based at this point. Yeah, I see a few little bulbs there now. But again, let's check right here for just a second, because it looks like it's trying to tighten up just a little bit more there close to South Wallens.
I'm trying to turn on the look at this from Jackson's.
Yeah.
And it's
a little, not great, but broad rotation there. So again, I was looking at the reflectivity, kind of trying to tighten up a little bit. So if you're back out toward Tremont, Harlan, going up, that is 221 into Bell County. Just kind of keep an eye out. Some lightning, some rain, and a little bit of broad rotation over that way. So it's still a very strong storm. Don't let your guard down on this just yet. But again, we're going to stick with this for just a few more minutes to see if it tries to tighten back up. If not, we'll try to get you back into programming. But again, we're looking at the possibility there for Rio Vista at 126, South Wallens or Wallens Creek there about 122. Not sure what shows up as South Wallens, but it's Wallens Creek. And then, of course, you've got Harlan 128, Kaywood 133, Everett's 136, St. Charles, that's over in Southwest Virginia there, and Lee County at 143, and then Monarch at 145.
Yep, so this is moving really along the Kentucky and Tennessee and now Virginia borders. And we talked about this last night in the group chat, Brandon. Those border counties were looking to be the kind of the main show for strong to severe storms today. So that is really what we are looking at right now. And as this storm continues pushing east, we say it again, it's going to be moving into a more favorable environment for severe weather. So do not let your guard down just yet. Even though this is the only warning we have right now, we could have several more as we go through the rest of this afternoon.
Okay, so since we don't have a whole lot on this one, let's do a reset. Let's go back out to the wide view to kind of recap to see what this storm's going to do. So basically, let's get a 6-hour loop going here to kind of show you how the storms have been developing for the last little bit. So you see, basically, it came out of almost nowhere there a little while ago, and you've seen they've started really cranking out here in the last probably hour and a half, and then they really started to ramp up. Got a couple of warnings. Of course, we've got the one in Harlan County, we've got the one across the border, got the one over in Winchester, Clark County up there toward central Kentucky. But again, this isn't the only warnings that we have so far, but you noticed when these storms got going, west of I-75 is still untapped, up to the north is still untapped, over toward the border is still untapped there. So there's a lot of energy still stirring around out there that we could be seeing some more of these storms fire as we go through the daytime hours. Let's take a look at that tornado watch real fast and kind of give you an idea on what that is. We got that going until 6 for basically the entire region. The only exceptions, the East Tennessee counties go until 7. Now again, we'll keep an eye on that for you, but 6 is basically the name of the game. Looking at the possibility for, again, the possibility for rotating storms. Jackson said this morning that most of the storms today will be rotating, so that's why the tornado watch continues all the way up until about 6 o'clock tonight for most of us, and then until 7 for East Tennessee. But again, lots of action going on out there, and of course, if we can go back to the SPC real quick to kind of reset that, 12:30 update keeps us in the level 4, moderate risk for most of eastern Kentucky, parts of southwest Virginia, southeast Kentucky, but everybody under the gun all the way into central Kentucky with some sort of threat level 2, 3, or 4 across the region this afternoon.
Yeah, let's pull up the threats. Let me try to find that real quick, the different threats that we're facing today, because like you mentioned earlier, this is a multi-threat day. We have heavy rain, we have gusty winds, we have the potential for some large hail, and also a quick spin-up tornado. So this is the update at 12:30 from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, that yellow color for the tornado, that is a 10% risk. And again, that sounds low, but that is a pretty substantial threat for us that we face. And again, the hail, that yellow color is a 15% risk. And notice the wind, the straight line winds, that hatched area, that is the potential for winds upwards of hurricane force, not spinning, but in a straight line. But still, it doesn't matter. That's going to do damage whether it's spinning or in a straight line. That is the bigger threat that we face today, is the straight line wind threat. So just have a way to receive warnings, have that first alert weather app, and just stay up to date as we go into the rest of this afternoon.
Exactly. So again, weather radio is a great tool to have. I had somebody ask me about the hatched mark here earlier on the wind, but Cameron explained it pretty well. So that basically means increased risk for straight line winds up to hurricane force. That's basically all that means. And the purple is a 45% chance of that. So that's a pretty high threat for this time of the year as well.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to the radar real quick. No new updates from the National Weather Service on this storm in Harlan County. We're pushing into Harlan County, but we'll take a closer look at this real quick. And the last time I looked at it, it wasn't great in terms of rotation. It has weakened, which is great news for our friends in Harlan County. But again, this is pushing near South Wallens right now, pushing into downtown Harlan over the next few minutes. And again, there's nothing really there that screams tornado to me. So that's the great news there as this pushes east.
Rotation very broad there near Wallens Creek, South Wallens area. But overall, it looks like this is just a heavy rain, maybe some strong wind, maybe just a little bit of hail. Let's check the hail core tracker there for a second, see if there's any hail over that way. No, not really anything.
Doesn't look like it.
Exactly. So again, if it is, it's maybe small. Not really big enough for it the radar to detect. So again, just kind of keep an eye out. We're going to keep on the air for just a couple more minutes. We may take you back to program around 1:30 if we don't see any new developments with this one, because even though it's still a tornado possible tag, we really don't see anything that indicates that there could be a tornado. Of course, there's strong winds. There's the possibility for, again, hurricane force winds for some folks. Go off to the north just a little bit, and we're looking at parts of Wolf and up toward Breathitt counties. Again, we're kind of keeping an eye on this storm coming out of central Kentucky. Not quite into our area yet, but I do see a severe thunderstorm warning that's close.
Yeah, new one for Bath, Fleming, Rowan until 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one will stay north of most of us.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. Of course, even if we go back to programming at 1:30, we're going to be here the whole time. We'll jump right back on if we need to. But again, we're going to stay with this one for just a little while longer to see if it continues to try to fall apart there. But it is going into an area of favorable, but it looks like some of the rain in front of that camera may have calmed the atmosphere down, at least briefly. Again, but look back out just to the west of Barberville. Look at that storm popping up there into parts of southern Laurel County. That just came from a worked over atmosphere. So this is basically, we're still in the heat of the day. We're still not out of this mess. Storms are popping up all over the place, but this is some of the same areas that just got worked over by that storm that had a tornado warning on it for one point over there toward Barberville and over toward DeWitt. So again, long way to go, we'll be here with you, but we're going to stick with this one for just a couple more minutes here to see what happens. We might even go before 1:30, but we're going to watch this one for another couple of scans and to see if it's going to cause any issues over toward Harlan. I'm going to check, if you want to take over for just a second, I'm going to check my Facebook messages, see if I've gotten anything from the fire chief over there. He's a good friend of mine who sometimes sends me reports if we get anything. And tell you what, if you want to...
Yeah, I was trying to look for the clicker there.
Yeah, I don't know where'd it go?
It might be. I think it's hiding right here. I found it.
There you go. If you want to try a little...
I may have to hit the play on the radar here before we
check it out.
Do that.
Okay.
So give me 1 second. We'll hop on the wall real quick and kind of go through the latest across the region. So we do still have that tornado watch, like Brandon mentioned. We do still have a level 4 moderate risk in place for some areas as well. And we are on the air right now for the potential for some strong to severe storms, especially over Harlan County at this hour. So we'll take a closer look at that real quick as we push into the rest of this afternoon. So let's go here and see if we can zoom in on that warning. We'll push portions of Harlan County at this hour. So let's go there. Let's push this back up for a second. Looks like it went a little bit too far. So let's go back down for a minute here. Let's see, camera. We can go back to the home view for a second, and we'll zoom back in here in just a few minutes. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for portions of Harlan County. I think that also includes portions of Leslie County and also into Letcher County as well. So we'll kind of pan down to the south here on this storm pushing into Harlan County right now. Again, nothing that is screaming tornado at this hour, but we are watching out for the potential for some rotation, especially on the southwestern flank of that storm. So again, zooming back into that portion of the storm here in Harlan County. And again, so this is your polygon right here. That does include portions of Leslie County into Harlan, also a small sliver of Letcher County as well. This goes until, I want to say, let's check and see when this goes until. I don't want to speculate and see. So this goes until, let's see.
I believe it's 145 potentially?
Yeah, 145 for the potential for winds upwards of 70, possibly hail more than 1 inch. That's bigger than quarters, and also the potential for some rotation in that storm as well. So that's what we're looking at right now in Harlan County. We have the potential for a quick spin up tornado. Nothing that is really jumping out to me right now. This is reflectivity. Let's take a look at the velocity here real quick, and you can see nothing that is jumping out. Well, maybe a little bit right here. Let's take a look at this closer real quick. And this is just to the south and west of downtown Harlan. So you can see here, right here is where we're looking out for that storm. Looks like that went the wrong way. Brandon, you may have to push me over there a little bit real quick.
Where you head to the
southwest of downtown Harlan.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, where you've got, hold on. Let me try to reset you here because where you've got magic track on
right there. That's what we're looking at.
Let me see if I can get you
for
right there.
Some greater rotation.
Let me go pan a little bit. Pan you down. Now, come on now.
May have to take it out of play mode.
Yeah, let me try that. Hold on just a second. Sometimes we have this system.
Gets a little bit finicky there.
Well, we have this system that sometimes we're not the best at.
Still learning that. But you can see right here, we are looking. This might be Morristown.
Yeah, let me see if I can switch back.
Jackson, right here. Some greens and reds touching. So we do have some broad rotation just to the south of downtown Harlan. Again, nothing is screaming tornado, but still, we are watching out for the potential for some rotation now just to the south of downtown Harlan. This is US 119? No,
that's 119
here.
Yeah, and then that's 3001 that goes down toward Kaywood.
Okay.
And then you've got 221 going to the north there toward up toward Bell County.
Okay, so again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in place for portions of Harlan, also Letcher County. This is not as strong as it was over Bell County or eastern Knox County, but still right there just to the south and west of downtown Harlan is the potential for a little bit of that rotation. And again, this is Highway 421.
Morristown's not showing it too bad either because it's kind of right there in between those.
So just to the south of downtown on Highway 421, pushing off to the east around 45 to 50 miles per hour. So a heads up in Mary Helen. Also 10 spot Everts. This is Highway, let's see, this is Highway 38 there from Harlan stretching over to Everts. This is going to be very close to you. So again, no official tornado warning, but we are watching out for that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So we're going to keep a close eye on that.
Let me check something here right fast. Cameron, I wanted to look at something here. A couple of areas that just kind of stand out to me. a little bit right here, potentially. And then, of course, this little bit right here, just south of Harlan. It's not well defined.
Yeah, it's broad for sure.
It's very broad out there, but just something to kind of keep an eye
watching.
on. Exactly. So we'll keep an eye on this for a few more minutes. I know we said we were going to go back at 1:30, but this is what happens. It re-intensified a little bit, and we'll kind of keep an eye on it. So again, let's back out just a little bit here.
Did they cancel the one for Bell and Harlan and Letcher and Leslie? So this is.
Hold on, let me go back to radar just a second.
They may have canceled it.
They may have canceled. I believe they did.
So good news. There you go.
All right, so that's it. That warning is now gone. I have reports over there real fast before we wrap up of heavy rain, but that's basically all the damage that we've seen in Harlan proper. So reached out to some folks. So
good news there.
Exactly.
So I think before we toss back, one last look at the tornado watch.
Absolutely.
Just to give everyone the heads up, we're not done with this just yet. This tornado watch lasts until 6 p.m. this evening. I do think we will be done by 6 p.m. before 6 p.m. actually, but again, that watch does last until 6, except for our Tennessee counties. That will last until 7 there, as that moderate risk also continues as well. So we are watching out for that as we go through the rest of this afternoon. So just be sure that you have a way to receive warnings and also have that First Alert weather app, and you stay weather aware as more showers and storms are possible over the next several hours there. But really right now, we're going to send it back to regular programming for Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cameron Aaron, and we are going to send you back to regular programming.